Hi, welcome back to an important Dylan Rounds video. Today, we're going to be taking a look at an up-to-date exploration video of Montello, Nevada, the last known location Dylan was spotted in. Now, credit to an individual, I won't mention their name because they didn't want to be listed, who went there in recent time and documented their exploration out there. I'm going to share with you the footage. We'll break it down bit by bit, analyse. I'll even give my opinion on the matter. Make sure to stick around towards the end of the video as I will be sharing with you a crime that occurred within the area. So, let's begin. So here we are, this looks like the outer skirts of Montello. I will play the video as we go along. It's on mute so it shouldn't get in the way. And I think he's just walking at the moment. You look at those buildings right there, they do look abandoned. If I just pause it there. If you just zoom in a bit, as you can see, it says for lease. So I guess it's not inhabited. Just the visual look of it, it does look abandoned. The windows themselves, I don't know if they're blacked out, if they've been boarded up. You can't quite see inside. So a little bit secretive if you want to word it that way. If this is the outer skirt part, then maybe it's a bit more rough. Could there be more crime, more suspicious activity going on? We zoom in on the left-hand side and we look at that building here. You can see some kind of abandoned truck. I don't know if it's in use or not. And then that looks like a door on the side. It looks like it could be open. I'm not for certain. But yeah, just from looking at it here, it does look like a ghost town. In terms of the population, it's been said that there's about 55 people, but then another person said the population is 270. So I guess it differs. So what to see about that. So yeah, he's walking along, panning around, good visual quality of the camera, which is very helpful. You can let me know if you notice anything odd within the video. You can see in the background the mountainous area. You've got another building there which looks a bit more in use. Let's just rewind that bit back. Okay. Well, there we go. So behind that tree, you got a little building down there. And then to the left, you've got another one. This one looks different in shape. I don't know what it's used for. If it's for farming, storing stuff like a warehouse, or maybe. You know, people talking about meth labs, drug labs. Who knows what goes on? But let me know what you think. Do any of the buildings stand out as like buildings that would be used for making drugs, distributing, storing them, or any other kind of illegal activities? I mean, it's in a rural area. It's, you know, not near any police stations or anything like that. So I guess there can be a bit more lawless. Is that the correct word? Right. So this looks like he's entering Montello, literally. You know, as you see on Google Earth, you got that long stretched road as I told you about. And I believe this is the road I was on when we were looking at the last video, the street view. And from what some people have said, and my guess is we're correct, it's like 2009. So the image quality was poor due to limited technology. This time round, this is more up to date because this was very, very recent. I think it might have been the 5th of July. I might be wrong. Or a few days before that, but it's definitely up to date. So he's approaching the place. Montello, that green sign on the right. There's a little peak on the left-hand side. You can see a number of cars, vehicles, RVs. And what we'll do, we'll just pause it because when we were looking on Google Earth, in terms of the buildings, it just looks like maybe a place where work and construction would go on and like supplying materials, junkyards. But when you look at it closer, you can see actual houses, like a neighbourhood. Just wind it back a little bit. You got some vehicles on the left, some trucks. I don't know what make they are. You do have a red one there, but that's not Dylan's, I don't think. No, it's not. You can see on the left, it's not his. Just rewind it a bit more forwards. You got a building there, which looks like a house. A few more vehicles parked up on the left-hand side, caravans as well. Decent sized house, doesn't look too rough. And a couple of cars parked up, including like a buggy, one of those off-road ones. You got a white sign, I don't know what that means. Does that mean the speed limit, 35 miles per hour or something? And yeah, let's just continue the video. So can't see anyone at the moment, but you can see a number of buildings, a few cars parked up. Yeah, it looks somewhat populated from the looks of it. And a few more. Now, I think once we get to this part, this is where the discussion takes place.
Very beautiful mountain. Island road that you were on is over here almost to that mountain.
It's the gas station. So Ty, who owns this place?
Jill and Brian.
The same owners of this place?
Yes, sir.
Okay. It looks great out here.
Yeah.
I don't see no meth labs.
No.
Is that whole meth lab? Tell me the story about this meth lab. All these meth labs out here.
I think it's like anywhere else. There's places that people do that. I mean, everywhere. It's everywhere. There's nothing people can do about it. People. It's Alan Wilson.
Okay.
And his wife Kathy, and they're really good people.
Okay.
Alan runs a reservoir up here on the Gamble Ranch, and they're both retired, but he does that for something to do.
Okay.
They're good people.
Well, I
Brian
don't.
and Jill are good people.
Yeah.
Postmaster lives in the greenhouse right down from there. Her name's Louisa. She's a good person.
Okay.
So from the looks of it, the YouTuber appears to be talking to a local who lives within the area called Ty. We'll get more into him shortly. To begin with though, visually, the area does look somewhat populated and kind of busy. Then again, it's probably because the YouTuber is stood near the gas station, so you will get visitors that come regularly. It's on a main road as well, so it's inevitable. The business of the gas station, which is linked to another building nearby, is run by Jill and Brandy, whoever they are, and seen as noted as good people. And a few other people mentioned as well, someone called Louise or something, and then a retired couple as well. But in general, considering the way people were wording the area, a ghost town, at least in that moment, it didn't seem as dead as expected, did it? Now, linking back to Ty, the way he talks about the people within the area, there could be biasness going on. You know, when you know people fairly well, whether you're close friends or not, you might see them in a different light. And when you describe them, when people, outsiders, ask you questions, you might be a bit more defensive. You might be a little bit more reluctant and reserved and not say certain stuff because of loyalty and close-knit ties with the community. You never know, that can happen. Now, one keyword which was used repetitively was the word good. Yeah, those are good people. Yeah, and those are good people as well. And that person's a good person too. I mean, because they're not changing the vocabulary up, I mean, you can come out with different interpretations of it, but, you know, it seems to be a little bit reserved. Not, you know, changing the language or trying to use different words, just keeping it basic, keeping conversation basic and responses to certain questions. Because the YouTuber starts asking the question of, well, where are all the meth labs? Where are they? Shouldn't they be in this area? You know, they've been talked about in the news and stuff. And the way Ty responds, it's basically like, well, like any place it can happen. You can't stop it. Yeah. So he's not saying yes, he's not saying no. He's just simply saying that it probably goes on, not much can be done. But depending how you interpret it and interpret the person, you could say maybe they are covering for somebody or they are used to what's going on, you know, whether they're a part of it or not. It just happens and it's like, oh, well, there's no point revealing it or revealing the locations of those, you know, businesses, the illegal ones, whatever you want to call it. As I said, linking back to that tight-knit community, maybe all kinds of things go on in the area, but it's not reported. And from the looks of it, there's no police stations nearby, so I can't imagine police regularly visiting, you know. I don't know if I can show it on screen right now, but when I tried looking on some website to do with crimes reported, there was like 2 in 2021 and then 1 in 2022, not that many. So maybe a lot of stuff goes unreported and unnoticed, you know what I'm saying, because of the type of area and environment. As for the crimes I did see reported, one was to do with littering, and then another one was to do with trespassing, which is interesting because although there's a distance away, I think like a 30-mile distance from Montello to where Dylan lives, you know, you got the whole trespassing going on, which could be a regular occurrence. That's kind of like with Dylan's situation with the squatters, such as Brenner, how he was trespassing in a way. So if that happens regularly, it makes you wonder what else is going on too, and could it lead to anything? So let's continue looking at the rest of the footage. So now on screen you can see the building what we came across on the Google Maps video. I don't know if it's a landmark or not. From the looks of the windows and door, it looks blacked out. I'll try and zoom in if possible. There you go. I don't know if that's of a bird. It looks like a bird, a red one, just above the name. I don't know if it's a logo of the place to resemble something. Is there a meaning behind it? I don't know. We go down a bit. It says posted. And then what? Keep out. I don't know what that's about. Kind of confused. Actually, if we zoom in, you can actually see. It might be hard. It looks like there's a candle holder and a toy car on that ledge of the window on the inside. What about the other one? That actually looks like the Eiffel Tower, the way it's shaped, kind of weird. And then it looks like there's a red car as well on the windowsill. So I don't know if this is a house or if it's like a show building for whatever reason to welcome people to the area. Who knows? But let's continue the footage. So he's walking along. You got that Utah Construction Company. So a business. It looks like it's locked up at the moment. Oh, actually, no. There was a person in there, sat by the window. And then at this point, this is the bar. This is the location where Dylan would go. Now, if we just put it on pause for a second, okay? So from what's been said, the odd person said that the bar is only open once a week. Now, if that truly is the case, it's not much of a business, right? You know, surely you'd be having it open nearly every single day, maybe like later on at night time, but once a week seems not exactly practical. So if we just take a little look at the notices on the doorway, just zoom in slightly, as you can see, it says closed at the moment, will return, but it doesn't give a time. They also seem to support Trump-Pence, Keep America Great 2020. And then to the left, you might be able to see, it says, I support my local police. Now, I don't know where the local police are. Can we zoom in a little bit? There you go. You can see it on the left. So there's that. And then there's a few more stickers to the far left. Don't know what they are. It won't let me zoom in, unfortunately. 2021, God Bless America, and then some other one. I'm unable to zoom in because it's as a video. But yeah, I guess you get an idea of the type of people they are, like who they support and who they believe in, maybe certain views as well. The fact that they support the police, it does make you question or wonder what the crime is like within the area, if there is lots of talk and, you know, all these people going on saying there's meth labs and drug dealing and all kinds of dodgy stuff going on, then why do these people support the police who would obviously stop those activities, unless it's some kind of to make the place look a little bit better, you know what I'm saying, to put on a good face, whereas the ones who do live there know what is going on and they're doing stuff behind people's backs, such as when visitors come. Visitors only see it as an innocent place, but there might be a darker reason going on within. You never know. Let's continue the video. I said bar's closed, but you saw inside. Try and replay it back. Right, okay. We'll take a little look inside. It's dark, but that's because it's closed at the moment. But it looks okay. It doesn't look anything dodgy. There's a few signs and posters on the wall, a few stools. You got that snooker or pool table, which you saw in a previous picture. There we go. And maybe at the back, the far corner on the left-hand side, there might be slot machines or arcade machines, I guess. But yeah, it does look small, but nothing out of the ordinary, I guess. We'll continue the video. And then is this like the backyard area of the bar? You got those bottles, a few decorations, kind of like what Kenny Beach would do. And then right at the back, which I don't know if he does approach or not in this video, but we'll just try and zoom in if possible. Although it's not quite visible, that's called She Cave. Now, from what the odd comment said previously, a she cave is basically a place where females hang out. I don't know if that's true or not. I guess so. Is it like the opposite of a man cave? You know what I'm saying? I don't know if people are messing around, but just thought I'd point that out anyway. It might be a gathering point, you never know. In terms of the artwork going on in the area, it does look somewhat innocent. It doesn't look dangerous. It doesn't look intimidating. You can see the paintwork on one of the containers. Just appears to be like garden type nature stuff. And yeah, that's about it. Reusing bottles for decoration. And yeah. You got a few garden gnomes on the floor. As I said, if you notice anything, feel free to point it out. And then this is another location which we may have not seen. That skips to him driving about now. I guess he's driving around the neighbourhood, the area which we couldn't access at the time. Few houses. Let's just pause it for a second. Do any of those houses look dodgy? They all kind of look similar in the shape and sizing of them. Is that some kind of barn or, what's inside it? You got those, is it propane tanks, the white ones on the outside? And then that building there. And then you've got a trailer back here. I mean, depends who owns them, who lives there. Could anyone be hiding anything or hiding someone? So let's continue on with the footage as he's driving along the neighbourhood. He zooms in. I guess he's just like looking for maybe clues or if anyone's hiding, maybe looking through the windows. Because this sort of stuff could happen. Got a few more trailers there. Some vehicles too. Let's just have a quick look just to see what type of car they are. So you got a Chevrolet, and is that a Ford? Maybe. I mean, the reasonable cars, to be fair. Okay. A few trees within the neighbourhood too. And yeah, and then you got that long stretch, that wide gravel dirt road, which we did see on maps. Unfortunately, you couldn't get down it, but luckily we can see it on here. A white house on the right with a garden, reasonable size. At least the camera's steady, so it gives us a chance to look at the stuff. Let's pause that for a second. Now, is that a garage or a shed? The one on the right, can you see it? That one there. I wonder what's inside that. Any vehicles? Any dodgy activity? I don't know. Could be, you never know. Anything else? I think you got those buildings over there. Is that like a junkyard or mechanics? Well, it looked like a scrapyard there on the right hand side. Where is it? That stuff there kind of looks like a bit of a junkyard. All bits of items stored. Orange vehicle there, and like a little cubicle at the back. Okay. Let that play a bit more. Pans around. And yeah. Now, didn't it say there was a school, an elementary school within the area? I haven't seen that yet. I don't know what that looks like. A few more cars parked up. I mean, this is the question. What do they do for like food or like for certain shops? Ah, there we go. Speaking of the school. Let's just get back to the school bit first of all. School. Speed limit 15. Okay. So is that the one on the right, that blue building, or is it just the one ahead where the white one is? I can imagine it just being a small school because a small population. Yeah, on the right, must be that building there. A few little decorations, wheels, little archway too. Is that to welcome the people that visit? Slow down, dog? Is that what it says? Or slow? Something dog. Well, that doesn't look like a school to me. That looks like more like just a standard house. So it must be one of the buildings beforehand where it says school. Unless it's on the left-hand side. I can't quite see. So yeah. But yeah, as for shops, what do they do? I mean, isn't there a bit of distance to cover? You know, depending on where you're going, like closed shops or restaurants, other types of things you might look at. Okay, so that looks a bit battered. That camper van. Is that a camper van or caravan? Whatever you call it. That one there looks a bit damaged, but I guess people are living in them. I mean, in terms of the environment, the layout, kind of reminds me of GTA, how it may look and appear. Now, on the left, is this the school or is that the church? So you got satellite dish at the back there. So that's interesting. And then what does it say? Montello School. Okay. So this is the school. It looks kind of basic. It does look small. Don't know what it looks like inside, how many people attend, but yeah. They've got their own school going on, education stuff, okay. Looks kind of empty, but then again, it might be just the day. It's closed. A few benches outside. A few more little shelters, buildings, which do look abandoned. Some of them do. Tyres on the left-hand side. And more trailers ahead. I mean, in certain areas it looks more rough than others. But, yeah. It looks like a neighbourhood to an extent. You know, from when I originally looked at it on Google Maps, I was like, you know, is it just like a trading outpost? Is it just like where business may take place and stuff like that? Okay, so the last thing is, I don't know if I can confirm in this video or not, or I'll do it in the comment section. That's if the person replies. At the end of this video, there's a pointer, you know, left-hand side of the screen at the bottom, Justin Rounds. I don't know why. I don't know if it's pointing to the building on the end of that street. I don't know if it's pointing to a vehicle parked up further back. But Justin Rounds is basically the father of Dylan Rounds. So I don't know why it's mentioned in this video. I don't know if Justin lives in this area or he's right there right now. But yeah, just thought I'd let you know. So overall, after looking at that place, I mean, there were certain areas that look a bit more dodgy than others, a bit more remote and abandoned, some buildings out of use, up for sale, etc. But then you have a few areas like on the main road, the gas station, you know, people come and go and maybe talk. Didn't seem as bad. You got the bar as well, which was closed at the time. So I guess, I don't know if it's relevant to the time of day you visit and the day itself. Maybe sometimes it's more alive than others. Maybe it's one of those things where if you appear at the wrong time, the wrong moment, and you're an outsider, things could get a little messy. You don't know. And it's one of those things, you know, it's a tight-knit place. Everyone knows each other. You know, maybe things will be passed around, you know, bits of information, talks and discussions. So if you do get an outsider or someone who kind of lives in the area but not within the town, such as Dylan, and there are any, you know, encounters, conflict, relationships going on, whatever it may be, you know, I'm sure they will hear about it. So if Dylan ever did visit, you know, trouble could follow and there may be consequences. I know people were talking about, what is it, the Wadsworth brothers or something, one of which called Kurt in a gay relationship with Dylan. I don't know anything about that, to be honest. I've just briefly heard about it from the Odd Few People. If we do go deeper into that, that'll be in another video because I don't want to pollute and cause confusion, okay? This video is specifically about Montello, boots on ground, getting a visual sense and idea of the location. Is it dodgy? Is it not? What are the people like? And, you know, you can leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think of the place, okay? And some of the people that appeared in the video, such as Ty. Who is Ty? You know. So we're not done quite yet because I want to share with you now a recent crime which occurred within the area. Let me show you the article. So the article was done 15 hours ago and it reads, Montello man arrested in Utah after skipping bail in Elko County. Let's just scroll down to the key information of what actually happened. It reads, Elko, a Montello man accused of eluding police in a car with meth and stolen property in December was arrested Sunday in Box Elder County, Utah, for failure to appear in court on the Nevada charges. Robert L. Aviles, 38, was booked into Elko County Jail on Sunday with bail listed at $35,000. He was arrested on the night of December the 8th in West Wendover as police investigated a report of a burglary at a casino. West Wendover police located a vehicle matching the description of one used in the theft. They chased the Toyota pickup through a residential area at speeds of 50 miles per hour. According to an officer's report, the pickup turned into a casino parking lot, jumped a curb, and Aviles fled on foot. A substance that tested positive for methamphetamine was recovered from the vehicle, along with an iPhone that had been reported missing in a separate burglary case. Aviles was charged with eluding a police officer in a manner posing danger to persons or property, possessions of methamphetamine and possessions of stolen goods, including several cell phone, tablets, player cards, bank cards, and other miscellaneous items. According to Nevada Department of Correction records, Aviles was sentenced in 2004 to 2 to 5 years in prison for attempted burglary. He was later sentenced to prison on 5 attempted burglary charges: grand larceny, fraudulent use of a credit card, burglary, and assault with a deadly weapon. In 2007, he was accused of breaking into an office at the Red Line Hotel in Elko, stealing a master key and entering guest rooms according to Elko Daily Files. Right, so to get an understanding of the location, we've got Montello on screen, supposedly where the suspect came from. I guess he was born in that town. If we zoom out, and we're looking at Box Elder County, Utah, which is on the right-hand side, and you can see where that red marker is on the right-hand side. I mean, in terms of distance, I don't know how far away that is exactly, but I don't think it's any further than like Dylan, where he lives on the farm. We probably could do a bit of distance check. Let's just put the marker there. Find miles if it decides to work. And then about nearly 60 miles. Fair bit of distance, but if you're in a car, which you most likely will be, it's not as bad. Now this area, Spring Bay. What's so significant about this area? Let me try and flip the screen, okay? Unfortunately, it's not 3D, so I can't do too much about it, but it's just getting an idea of what's so significant about this area. Like, if he was in a police chase, which maybe he probably was, you know, said we were going through a neighborhood at one point, 50 miles per hour. This location is a lot more desolate, vast, much more remote. Where's he going? Like, is it some kind of drug drop-off? I mean, you do have water there, which does branch out. It's more of a lake, though, so you can't really go too far. But then again, you could have a little small speedboat or something, which goes from island to island, you know, transporting and delivering goods and drugs. You never know. So, within this area, I'm just trying to see, does anything stand out? Few islands. What's that? Gunnison Wildlife Management Area. What's down here? Is this 3D? No, it's not. Is that a dam? Or like some kind of reservoir? It looks like a dam. You can see. Yeah, interesting. Quality's not the best. But yeah, okay. And it goes all the way down there. Interesting. Got some buildings too. Got construction. I was just trying to get an idea of the area, basically, roughly. I mean, is this a main road? Maybe it is. This could have been the road he was on if he was in that police chase. And he might have drove off and went down one of the off-road paths to try and get away, but was unsuccessful. But yeah, there's Montello there. And around this area was where the suspect was apprehended. So this case is kind of interesting. As it said, Montello man, so I assume he originated from Montello at some point. The most important part is you know, his crimes and his backstory as well. Just like with Brenner, had a track record in the past with the police, and the same's happened with this guy now. You know, burglary and theft. You know, it might be because of the way they were brought up, the area they're in, it's a bit more lawless, not as much police restrictions going on, every man for themselves type behaviour. You know, maybe they're poorer, so they've got to do more desperate things and acts to survive. I don't know, I'm not an expert of the location, but maybe you know better. You can leave a comment down below, let me know what you think. But, you know, with all this crime going on and these people appearing and getting arrested, as well as the meth usage or dealing or delivering drugs in the cars, you know, it does hone together that common theory suggested by all these people within the case and mystery trying to solve it, about the whole, you know, people taking drugs, people being off their face, being reckless, giving it to other people, crime, maybe the other person getting in danger, conflict going on with different groups of people or gangs. You know, all of it's going on. You know, it's like a wild land in a sense, anything, no holds barred. So if you've got someone like a 19-year-old sensible individual called Dylan who gets caught up in all of it, or some of it, with someone, you know, who knows what could happen, you know, if it's to do with land, growing stuff, taking over, you know, like with the squatters, who knows? You know, it's open for interpretation. I don't want to go too deep in stuff because we only know so much, and you know, as I said, there's a lot of information all over the place. I don't want to go too far right now, but to summarize, you got Montello, looks a bit rough, maybe people are struggling financially, so that leads to doing illegal acts and criminal activity and behavior to get by and survive, possibly. And then that can lead to being caught up in the wrong crowds of people. You could get yourself in danger if you're a visitor or an outsider. And maybe that's what happened with Dylan, possibly. You know, if it's a gang, the original people that have been questioned and imprisoned temporarily or whatever, you know, you don't know. You can leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think of the footage of Montello. Let me know what you think of this whole situation and even that case I just mentioned at the end of this video, okay? That's it for now. Thanks for watching and see you in the next one. Goodbye.